Hello, welcome back to my channel. Here again to talk about finances and how they really can be a blessing to you, your family, and all of humanity. And of course, the body of Christ, if they are managed properly. In finance, we often like to talk about savings. We talk about investing and how we invest and investing in 401ks. And all of those are important building blocks on our wealth journey. But the reality is one of the major building blocks, is a source of income. Whether that source of income is from a job, or if it's from a business, if it's from a side hustle, whatever the case may be, at some point, a building block or a source of income is a necessity. You cannot invest air. As much as we love the Lord and we are dedicated to the Lord, you cannot invest prayer. You must invest money. And that money must come from somewhere. And because we're people of integrity, of course, it comes from a legal source. And that's what I want to talk about today. There is honor in gaining income. Now, that may come from a job, and I know that many people want to have their own businesses, and I think that that is admirable and it is good, but it doesn't mean that in the interim you cannot work and earn income. And ideally, that income will be enough to meet your daily needs and put aside some amount, even if it's a very small amount, so that that can be used for investing. I often say, and again, I am not a financial expert and I am not a financial advisor. I am sharing with you principles that have worked for me. Now, my first job did not pay a great deal of money. It was enough to meet my basic needs. And I've said before, I had to supplement that with using a credit card, which is not the way that you want to go, because you don't want to pay that extra income. So it's important to not only find a source of income, but trying to find a source of income that will meet your basic needs. And then maybe considering side hustles, overtime, which is what I ended up doing with my job, with overtime, and ultimately finding a better paying job as I developed better skills. But either way, even if you start your own business, keep in mind that many businesses, it takes several years before those businesses are able to sort of pay all the bills and also provide a meaningful income. And that's also the case with social media inputs. Often it just takes time to build up the social media content and channels until they are able to provide reliable sources of income. However, no matter what the case may be, income is needed in order to really build wealth. At some point, some income has to come from somewhere. Now, one of the ways that we can do that is not only increasing the income, but also obviously controlling expenses. And I'm not saying that you don't live because you want to live your life, but you may have to take a very serious look at what your expenditures are, because as you're bringing in income, you want to control expenses. You don't want to cut out something that is critical, like you need food, you need housing. Those things you have to have. But the amount that you spend on food, even good healthy food, can be controlled. And the amount that you spend on housing can also be controlled. Now, you don't want to live in some rat infested place where you can't walk outside. So you want to find that balance. Now, again, for believers, this is where we are praying. We are asking God to help us and to give us favor, whether that's on a job or a business so that our income increases, or if it's wisdom on how to spend the money that comes into our hands. It may sound like a cliche, but there is truth in the fact that when God blesses something, when God breathes on the income that we have, it is amazing what can be done with that income and the peace that comes with it, so that we sleep at night even as we are balancing it. But nevertheless, we can complain about it. We can say we don't want to. It's not the kind of job we want. I don't want to be involved in that, but we need some source of income. And it's worth the effort to go online, to Google, to talk to people about their professions, what they're doing, their businesses, how did they make it work. It's worth doing that so that we are always advancing and growing and not satisfied, even if we start off with $15 an hour, or we start off in a salaried position. We are not just satisfied and saying, well, at least my head is above water, but we are trusting God to increase and to grow and to continue to be better. Remember, we talked about never being satisfied with mediocrity, and that includes in our income. So we want to ensure that not only do we have enough income to survive, but to thrive, so that we are not only helping others, but we're paying our own bills. We are reducing our debt. We are investing. We are in saving. We are growing. We are getting better and stronger financially. And so one of the critical financial basics is that there has to be a source of income, and that source of income is maximized and expenditures are controlled. Now, if you do not have a skill set, that may be your starting point to increase your income. There may be things that you can do, classes that you can take free online that will help you to build a skill set so that you can get or are in a better position to get a better paying job. And one of the things that's also critical in getting that better paying job is the mindset. Because if the first time you tried it doesn't work, you don't want to rehearse in your mind, they didn't like me. They didn't like me because of my gender. They didn't like me because of the color of my skin, or whatever the case may be, and then not try again. That's self-defeating. So there has to be that inner strength, which I believe comes from the Lord, to build us up to say, try it again. And not only try it again, but take the responsibility to say, well, one of the reasons I may not have gotten that promotion is because I wasn't qualified. But ensure that you are qualified not only for that position, but for other positions that will open, because there is a huge world out there. And just because one company doesn't appreciate you does not mean that another won't appreciate you. So whether it is a business, again, or whether it is anything else, be strong in the Lord, get an income source, and begin this financial journey to financial stability. God bless you.